Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. And thank you so much for tuning in again for another one of our Linkage Wellness workshops. I'm very excited tonight because we're hosting our Linkage Wellness workshop that has everything to do with healthy eating, walking in wellness with our natural health advisor, Coach Yvette. And you can find her at Walking in Wellness. Tonight, she will be sharing with us something quick, healthy, easy, fun to do as a snack, as an appetizer, as something just to munch on, something that's very healthy. And she did send me the recipe, and I do have the recipe. If you guys want the full recipe, you can DM me or email me at linkagewellnessinstitute@gmail.com, or you can reach out to her directly at Walking in Wellness, and we'll make sure that you get the full recipe on what she is making for us tonight. So I'm very excited about this. Hey, Bobby, thank you for joining us. So I just want to talk a little bit about all of the rest of our wellness workshops. They're doing wonderful. Thank you so much for everyone that's been tuning in so far. We're doing the wellness chat. We have the Zumba workshop, and we do have more of those coming along, and we have more workshops that we'll be working on. So I'm very excited about that. Let's see if we have Coach Yvette here. Okay, I don't see her yet, but she will be joining us soon. So I'm really excited about tonight because I'm on my own journey with trying to eat healthy, with trying to do better, drinking more water. Like, I have my water here. I try to drink like 3 of these a day, which is very hard for me. Some people can just like drink water all day, and that's really hard for me. If I'm not drinking water, I'm drinking juice, and I've changed it from the juice that I normally like to have to like 100%. No, that kind of is not fun. However, I'm trying. So it's a part of my journey. I know I need to do better with eating healthy, getting better things in my body. And Coach Yvette helps me a lot with that. So hopefully she'll be joining us. Hi.
Hi.
She's here. How are
Good.
you?
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic now that you're here. I was just telling them a little bit about my journey and how I'm trying to do better with drinking more water
Yes.
and putting better things in my body.
Yes.
And how you're coming on with us tonight just to show us something quick, healthy, and easy, something that we all can do that's very cost effective and easy. So
Yes.
that's about it. How have you been doing?
I'm doing great. Happy Good Friday.
Happy Friday. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you for being here.
Absolutely. So I'm trying to see if I can get 2 different views.
Okay.
So I'm going to try and go live on
Thank you. And thank you for being here.
on my iPad and see if it'll show the, let's see.
Okay.
So I'm going to try and go live on.
It's like lagging behind. It's lagging behind us a little bit.
Let me turn that down. So I'm going to try and go live. Okay. I turned that volume down on that one.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I was going to try and show the actual, my skillet. So I'll give you guys a little
peek. Okay.
I was trying to show you that.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't work, that's cool. But I just want to let everyone know. So a couple of things. I do have the recipe and all of the instructions for what I'm going to be doing today. It is something really simple and really quick. Something that you usually will have in your refrigerator already.
Okay.
And so it's going to be a salad, but it is going to be something that's a little more filling, has lots of texture. So those are things that help you to feel satiated. It helps you feel full, like, okay, I've really eaten something outside of a salad. But because it is getting warmer outside, something that's light. So you don't have to have a huge, heavy meal. Also, it's nutrient packed, because the main goal when we're eating something is to make sure we're getting in the nutrients.
Yes.
It's not just about the taste, or it's not just about, oh, I ate however many meals I was supposed to eat.
Yeah.
But what are you getting from that?
Yeah.
And I want people to think of nutrition, their diet, not being a diet like a temporary thing, but diet by, this is the food that I'm taking in every day. This is the routine of what I'm eating.
Okay.
I want them to think of that holistically, not just the recipe or the ingredients, but the whole gambit. What I'm cooking with, how I'm heating up the food, what water am I using if if I'm going to put a little bit of water in something? All these little small things
They
are part
matter.
of
Yeah.
they're part of that huge microorganism of being healthy and eating healthy. And so I just wanted to show a couple of things. I love my Cutco knife.
Oh, that's nice.
A little plug there. But cooking with metals and woods opposed to the plastics, the synthetics,
Okay.
those things over time, especially with heat, they will leach into your food, and we don't want that.
Okay.
Not using Teflon, but a ceramic
Okay.
or either a cast iron.
Yes.
So those are little small things that we can do right away. So whatever we're cooking, we're getting the best out of it and not getting any extra toxins or anything into our body.
Okay.
So those are some things I wanted to make sure everybody was kind of aware of, just as we think about cooking and eating healthy as a whole.
Okay.
And so what I'm going to make, I didn't say, it's called what I called it. I named it the salad that beats all salads.
Exactly. That's what I said.
So it's a salad, but it has about 4 different greens. So that is giving you a difference in flavor as well as a difference in texture. So
Okay.
you're getting more for your buck, a bigger bang. And then the optional things that you can add in are some homemade croutons and toasted tofu. And so let me just grab a few things out of the refrigerator.
Sure.
Here so that it can stay nice and cool.
And it's literally
and so
only just a few ingredients.
It really is. It's like you may see that I have tons of things out here, but that's mostly seasoning.
Yes. Yes. Got it.
It's gonna be my greens.
Okay.
So let me get those out. And then the dressing itself is a good portion of the ingredients as well.
Okay.
Those are all fairly simple. And again, things that you already will have in your refrigerator.
So is it safe? Is it safe to eat kale and cabbage like every day or with every salad?
I would say check on your digestion and how it's, because it's very fibrous.
Yes.
So just check how it's feeling. If it's feeling too heavy, if it's feeling like, oh, that was really too much. Also, even the chewing aspect of when you're eating raw.
True.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And so I would say I usually eat it. If it's a really small portion, I may do lunch and dinner. But for the most part, once a day is what I would do. And in the summer, it's an uptick in me eating salads because it's warmer outside.
It's light.
I really don't feel like anything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so it'll be something really light like that. But during the winter, I'm all about the hot food. I'm all about the
savory, make you feel warm inside, all of that.
And so I did pre-toast some of the bread, and this is just sourdough bread that I've cut off of the loaf.
Okay.
So I have all of the ingredients here. And I'm not a huge one on a lot of name brands because depending on what you have in your area, it's more important that you're getting something that's nutrient dense opposed to what the name of it is.
Exactly.
There are some healthier brands, or if they list it as organic, always flip it over and just double check. Your ingredients list should be short, and it should be what it says is in there. If it's telling me that this is extra virgin olive oil, I shouldn't have 15 other ingredients before I get to the olives.
And should everything we buy be organic?
No, I wouldn't say so. I would say their levels and their tiers. Organic is supposed to be more sensibly and reasonably, responsibly farmed and manufactured. And so that's kind of like a go-to. You want to do that, but I would never say if you have another brand that isn't the organic brand, but it's extra virgin olive oil or it's kale, then I would say I would rather you get that at least, because you're making these habits and you're making these things that are going to put you in the long run of, hey, I got the nutrients in.
Got it.
I did make a healthier choice.
Yes.
And if that's happening, it becomes, second nature to you. And before you know it, oh, I am going to try that, that organic one.
Got it.
And then you kind of learn what you like. That's why I don't ever tell anyone, oh, this is the one you got to get. No, it's a journey.
Whatever works for you.
Yes, because maybe you're someone who leans a little bit more toward, I want something a little more savory. I want something a little more spicy.
Yes.
I want a little saltier, whatever that is, you can find whatever that taste is that's going to make sure that I'm going to repeat this.
Okay.
I'm going to do it again and again. Although it's not all about taste, we do still want you to enjoy
Exactly.
it, you know?
Yeah, because a lot of people have difficulty with trying to eat healthy. Already in your mind, it's like, it doesn't taste the same. And then sometimes it literally doesn't. You have to find what it is that does taste
Yes.
good, or you have to make it taste good with different types of ingredients and things like that. So that's a part of what I'm learning as well. Like, I may not like how it tastes, like, as it comes to me, but I can kind of flavor it up and use natural ingredients to kind of give it a boost.
And then also, it's about making that change consistently till you get to that point.
Yes.
Because a lot of times what you may not realize is maybe I'm constantly craving something sweet because I haven't detoxed from that yet. My brain is already wired, my taste buds, my body is aching for something that I really don't need, you know, to sustain me, to keep me healthy. And so once you kind of get detox from that and you have an opportunity to eat something different consistently, you'll learn that, oh, I really do like this, you know, arugula.
This is true.
You know?
This is true.
So, but the greens I have some mixed greens.
Okay.
And then I also have arugula.
Okay.
So that's like the base for my salad.
All right.
And then what I add on to that is some curly. This is organic kale, but also you could use any type of greens. There are a few different brands that are curly like this, like mustard greens.
Okay.
And then I have red cabbage.
All right.
And I have some green cabbage.
Got it.
And so starting with, I'm going to get a bowl here. I've kind of got all my little dishes off to the side.
Yes.
Another thing that I like to do that keeps the wellness in the forefront of my mind of what I'm eating and what I'm doing is I have a little branding everywhere. So it's always reminding me, what am I putting on here? I want to be walking.
That's such a good idea. That's such a good idea.
And, you know, and it holds you accountable.
Yes.
You know, when no one else is around, it's like, all right, what am I doing? And what am I putting on here? That
is a good idea.
I've got those, but so I'm going to just start with my main bowl and put in these greens.
Okay. So while you're putting in the greens, can I ask another question about greens? So
absolutely.
I love romaine lettuce, but I don't like the big bulky part of it. I don't like that. So it kind of makes me not eat it. But then they say that you don't get any nutrients from iceberg lettuce. And that's the other lettuce that I go to sometimes. I don't care for arugula's like weird taste a little bit, you know, but I can deal with like spinach and the kale and the red cabbage and the regular cabbage. But I do still need a lettuce base though. I shouldn't just eat cabbage and kale.
I think that a lot of times when you mix the greens,
yeah,
the one that you maybe like the least, it will be masked by the others. That's so true. I have this regular mixed greens in there, which are like baby spinach, and it has some dandelion and some other ones. And then you add that with the arugula, and then with the red cabbage as well as the green cabbage, that's going to give you a different flavor as well as a different level of texture. And so you got the softer greens with the crunchier greens. And a lot of times when you're eating something, you've got that good crunch to it.
That's what I need. I need the crunch of it all. Yes.
And so I just cut up those three things and they're in the bowl.
All right.
Just mixing that together. And that is really the base of our salad. Now, what I usually do is I also take some extra firm tofu.
Okay.
And this is how it looks.
All right.
And I just put it in the skillet. And if you want, I can go ahead and demo that, but I just fry it up with some seasoning, and that's the majority of what I have here until it's toasted.
Perfect.
So it looks like
all right. So really toast it. Okay.
I really let it get crispy on either side.
Okay.
And then one of the ways that I help it to get crispy is you put a lid on that skillet.
Okay.
And
while it's cooking.
Yes. And
keep a lid on it.
Depending on our time, I can tilt you down.
No, you're fine. Do whatever you want. We're here. We're here to watch. Let me, whatever you do that's comfortable, we're fine with it. So that looks good. Yeah.
And I just cut it up in little bits, and that's also going to go on top of our salad. So this is another part of I'm going to feel full and satiated when I eat this. This is protein. And so it is going to give you that extra bit of being full as well as the extra bite to the meal. And I know some people may have soy, tolerances.
Yes.
So there is an actual tofu brand that I love. I'm gonna see if I have it in the refrigerator.
Okay. And as far as the tofu, do you just put like the extra virgin olive oil in the pan and cook it with that?
I
Got
start
it.
with extra virgin olive oil.
Okay.
And then my go-to seasonings
Yes.
are turmeric,
Okay.
cayenne
Okay.
pepper. I also do salt and regular black pepper,
Got
a
it.
little bit of curry,
Okay.
and then a little bit of garlic salt. And
Can
those
I
are
do
the
like paprika in place of the cayenne? Because I can't do spicy,
absolutely,
spicy. Okay.
absolutely.
All
And
right.
it's always just how much you put on there to taste.
Got it.
And so I don't do a lot of marinating. I season when it's in the skillet, and I don't
Okay.
do a lot of seasoning once the food is cooked.
Okay.
And so whatever flavor I'm putting on it, it's while it's cooking.
Okay.
And the last little bit that I add, which is another way to get in a little bit more protein, because it's really about if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, but you still want to make sure you're getting in the protein. There are other ways to get that in so that you're getting in not only the nutrients, but the vitamins.
Yes.
Just nutritional yeast,
Okay.
as well as the amino.
Okay.
And so
Okay. All right. Could you
is,
turn that around a little bit more? Okay.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it. Got it. All right.
And so the liquid amino, it adds a little bit of a flavor, as well as it helps it to crisp up. And it is, I would say, it has like it'll give you a salty or umami kind of
Okay.
flavor.
All right. Got it. All right.
And
Okay.
so, yeah, I will go ahead and turn this on and see if we can
Okay.
something up. And then I will make the actual dressing. We're going to
Okay.
make that from scratch.
All right.
And add it to our greens. And for the breadcrumbs, I remember I showed you that I had already toasted.
Yes. Yes.
Toasted that up. So then again, I just cut it up, and we've got our little croutons. Okay. And the only thing I use to fry these in the ceramic skillet is a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of salt.
Okay.
And here's a hack if you're trying to not take in as much butter.
All right.
A little bit of olive oil and salt gives you that same flavor
as butter. Yes. Mm-hmm. Got it. Got it.
So that is on there.
Okay.
And so I'm just letting my skillet get a little bit warm.
All right.
But I'm gonna tilt you guys down so you can see what's going on.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. Let me see.
That's a good view. That's perfect.
Okay. Perfect.
Yep.
Okay. So here's our olive oil. And just a little.
Got it.
And then here's the extra firm tofu. You can see that it's very firm.
It's not. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not budging.
It depends on what you're cooking it for. For something that I'm trying to make that is a crispy, savory dish, I'll always use the extra firm. If you're using tofu for a soup or for something that needs to be creamy, then you're going to use the silken and the softer versions of it.
Okay.
That is what I will do for the tofu.
All right.
And again, I just season a little of each of my go-tos. And yeah, if you wanted to use paprika instead of the cayenne,
got it.
That's fine. I just like a little kick, and as well as cayenne is extremely good for you.
Got it.
It has a lot of benefits. And so I'll throw a little bit of that on there.
All right.
And so as this toast up, this is my secret to make sure it's crispy on both sides. Okay. I'll usually let it cook on one side until I can tell that it's golden brown.
Okay.
And once it's golden brown on that side and I flip it over, that's when I add just a splash of the liquid amino.
So is your fire super hot or is it like medium?
Well, actually, my stove is electric, so that would be a difference. But I have it on 4, so I don't want it so high that it's going to crisp before it has really that heat has traveled through the inside of it and cooked the inside.
Okay.
So I want to make sure that it's heated all the way through. So it can't be too high, but I do want a little bit of heat so that I can get that crisp.
All right.
And so I'm going to move this out of the way. And I'm going to get started on the dressing.
Okay.
Because the dressing is also from scratch, and so I want to make sure you guys have that recipe as well.
Okay.
And we're starting with, the main ingredients are Dijon mustard.
Oh, that's my favorite mustard.
Really?
I love. Yes,
so
yes.
This is the regular one, but I also add into it the spicy one.
Okay.
And so the Dijon mustard, we're going to have balsamic vinegar.
All right.
As well as olive oil, because this is salad dressing, so that's our base.
Okay.
And then I'm adding in a little salt and pepper just to taste.
Okay.
A squeeze of lemon. And then our raw honey.
Okay.
Can you see all
Yes.
of those? Okay.
And do you mix those all together, or do you put them like each on the salad and mix it?
No, I usually mix up a batch of it. In the recipe that I gave you, it is that batch lasted for like a week.
Okay.
So I had enough for, I'd say, about six or seven salads.
Okay.
And the
Okay.
portion
That's perfect.
sizes for the bowls were about like this.
Okay.
And so
All
I
right.
start with
That's gonna be so good.
2 tablespoons. Let me see, that spoon's not gonna let me. So I start with 2 heaping tablespoons
Okay.
of both types of mustard. Uh-oh. My
It's okay. It is perfectly fine. We're watching it. We know it's not burning. We're back. Look, I just said we're watching it, so we know clearly it's not burning.
fire.
Yeah,
I'm
we're good.
sorry.
We're good. Everything is fine.
Okay, cool. I figured that was gonna
You're
happen. It's so
fine.
close. It's so close
Yeah.
to the stove.
Yeah.
I just knew
That
that was gonna happen.
happens to me a lot
Does it
when I cook. I'm like,
really?
yes. I'm like, oh, because it's literally so close to the kitchen.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna put in the rest of this is the spicy.
Okay.
I'm also doing 2 heaping spoonfuls of that.
Okay. Can we go back down to the bowl so we can see?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yep. Okay.
I'll get you a little closer.
Yes. Perfect.
Okay. So we've got that, and then I'm also going to use, it's also 2 of the balsamic vinegar.
Okay.
So I don't know if you can see that one.
Yes.
Do 2 tablespoons. A table, not tea.
All right. All right.
And then just a squeeze of the lemon.
Okay.
This is half a lemon, so I'm going to squeeze as much as I can.
Okay. So the whole lemon. Okay.
Yes. Okay. And then we've got our honey.
Yes. I know that's gonna smell so good. Okay.
1, 2. And then our salt and pepper is really just to taste.
Yes.
So I'll just do a couple of sprinkles of that.
Okay. And you can pretty much eyeball that.
Yes. Because it's just to add a little bit of seasoning to it so it's not too bland.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be too much. And then we're going to put in our base, which is the olive oil.
Okay.
And that's going to be is a 1/4 cup.
Okay. Ooh. Now ready for the mix.
Yes, and now we're mixing it. And so you know that we're cooking live if the actual smoke alarm is going off.
It is fun.
Cooking.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't mind. I don't care. This is real life. This is the things that happen when you're cooking.
Okay. So you're just gonna keep mixing that until everything is all mixed
that
together.
Looks so good.
And you kind of have a much thinner dressing consistency.
Yes.
I usually put this in either a dressing bottle to squeeze or either just a container to hold it in for the week and keep it in the refrigerator.
Yes.
And so we have our greens.
And you said that can last up to how long?
Honestly, I think it will last at least 2 weeks, but I finished everything
in
1 week.
Got it.
So for the week, I just portioned out 6 different, for the work week, and then Saturday. So I had lunches, and then on a couple days, I even did a lunch and a dinner. But I had about 6 different portions from the ingredients that I have.
Okay.
So I usually do my dressing first.
All right.
And so I'll put a little bit of the dressing on there. And I don't like a lot of it.
Okay.
I don't like things completely saturated.
Right.
But I do like for every leaf to kind of be covered.
Yes.
And so I'm mixing it in just until I can see that it's on all of the leaves, not
Got it.
necessarily changing the color of it. You know,
Right. That's when you know you got too much, when it's like
yes,
changing it and
because it
things are
should just
getting
be
soggy.
exactly. It should just be a just a gloss where I can
Yes.
tell I do have dressing on every part of it, but I don't have so much of it that I can't see the leaves
Got
anymore.
it.
And then we're going to add in our toasted breadcrumbs.
Ooh, okay.
And then I also add in the crispy tofu.
Got it. Yes.
Now, what I do is I try and cook those things last
Okay.
so that they have a little heat to them.
Okay. So you
So
want them to be warm when you're putting it all together.
that's best. You know, like you figure like if you were eating a Caesar salad
Yeah.
with chicken, that chicken usually has a little bit of a temperature to it.
Yes.
So add it to it, it just mixes all together. And so then we give it a taste to make sure it turns out.
Yes.
Let's see.
That was so easy.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
Remember
That was
good.
so easy.
But the dressing, that's the game changer
So,
with it because
is it safe to make like all the salad and then put it away, or do you keep those certain things separate, like the tofu and the bread? Do you keep those things separate so they won't get soggy inside? Because I'm thinking of like if you want to have it for the next day and the next day, how do you package those things and keep them fresh?
I do keep the lettuces in there
Okay.
separately.
All right. Right.
I keep them all in there. I put in my crunchy cabbage
Yes.
second. So the arugula and the mixed greens, I leave them in there by themselves.
Okay.
They're very light.
Yes.
They're not as heavy as like a romaine or an iceberg, and they don't have as much liquid as well. So when they're sitting in the bowl, they're still very light. You can pull them out and there's hardly any moisture with them. So that doesn't happen, especially within like just a week of time. That won't happen.
Okay.
When it comes to the kale and the cabbage, I kind of keep those separate because they do have different liquid levels as well as their different textures. And sometimes when things get together, the weight of the cabbage can hold it down, and then that's when you get the soggy bottom.
Okay.
So I keep all of the greens. I can prep them as far as chopping them all up.
Yes.
And then once I have everything, I can keep it in separate bowls and then kind of just assemble the salad when I'm ready to eat it.
Okay.
The breadcrumbs and the tofu, like I said, I usually toast those right away.
Right.
After
those are like made to, or those are like made to when you're eating this type of thing.
Yes.
Got
And
it.
so
Okay.
then I'll add those in because they'll have that temperature. And again, we've got like 4 different textures between the mixed greens. Even the kale is a little hardier than the arugula mixed greens. Then you've got cabbage crunch. You have the breadcrumbs, and they have a savory flavor with the olive oil and the salt. And then you have the tofu, which is also very flavorful. And it's crispy on the outside, but if you've eaten tofu or any of the variations thereof, then the inside is just a little soft. And so it just, you have all these different textures, different levels of vitamins and protein that you're getting in. All vegetables, everything is healthy. Even the honey that you're adding, it's minimal, as well as the raw honey. Your body can process that a little bit better. So everything is going to give you nutrients. It's going to make you full, as well as it's going to give you the energy that you need to kind of, okay, I'm going to make it past that 2 o'clock
Exactly.
of the day until I get on to dinner and eat something, for my dinner. So it's
can you have this with your dinner, like a side or something?
I would just put smaller. I would just do a little smaller portion because usually when I eat salads for a meal, I wouldn't use this big of a bowl, but I would use a bigger bowl.
Okay.
I would use a bigger bowl to make sure that, I'm getting enough calories in with what I'm eating, because it itself is so low in calories. Eating just a tiny amount of it and then that's it. I'm going to probably be hungry later. I'm going to need more fuel.
I'll be hungry in like an hour from that or something.
So yes, we would definitely do it that way. But this is something that very portable to
Yes.
just put it and go. A little bottle for the dressing,
Okay.
as well as all the greens, especially if I'm preparing for lunch. All of the greens and everything can go
Okay.
together for that trip to work.
Do you have
You know,
like a sample, like a what we can see what you put your dressing in? You said like a bottle. Where do
sure.
you get those from? Can you like order them from Amazon or something?
I am so sure that you can.
Okay.
Let me grab it here. I have a couple of little, this is like my little junk drawer for all my little tiny bottles. Let me see.
Okay. Because I know that would keep me motivated too. My own homemade dressing in my little bottle.
So they're just
Yes.
little
Oh,
tiny ones
got
like
you.
that.
Okay. Got
Yeah.
you. So we could just put them in stuff like that. Got
And
you.
they usually
Okay.
have a little lid that comes with them.
Yes. Perfect. Okay.
So I keep it
Perfect.
in there, and then that goes in a little bowl. One of the things also when we're talking about how we're caring for our food,
Yeah.
even though I may store it in a little plastic, that's for my trip. If I have to store something long term, like in the refrigerator, or if I have to warm something up,
Yeah.
I try not to use plastics to do those. Because
Yes.
again, we're talking about making sure that we're being really diligent about any toxins coming into our
Right.
body.
Right. Okay. That's important.
Yeah.
Okay. That is very important. Okay.
So I think that's it for
Oh my
for the
God.
making of the sandwich.
That looks so good.
The
I'm
salad.
hungry. My mouth is all watering now. I'm just like, now I'm about to go and figure this out.
Yes,
Okay. So
it's
I
easy.
have the recipe and I'm definitely going to try it. I think I'm going to make it tomorrow. I'm going to send you a picture of what mine
Okay.
looks like. So if anyone's watching this and you guys make it, send us a picture of what yours looks like when you get done so we can see. This was great. It looks, I can like almost smell the dressing through the phone. Like that dressing is going to have me
Yes,
thinking about it all night. It was so easy and it looks like it tastes so good.
it
Yeah.
does. It really does. Especially the Dijon honey, and the olive oil together. It gives it that perfect dressing where it's light. It's like a
Got
vinaigrette,
it.
and so it's really light. The balsamic vinegar gives it just a tiny bit of sweet, and so yeah,
Got
it's that I
it.
could eat on any salad that I make.
And
But for this,
for your breadcrumbs, did you put olive oil on that or did you just put it in the oven and let it get toasty and then just cut it out?
actually, I did it in a skillet the same way that I did the
Oh,
tofu. So a little bit of olive oil,
okay. Okay.
and then I
All
put the
right.
bread, and then right before I'm taking it out, sprinkle a little bit of salt. And that
Okay.
olive oil and that salt, it just tastes like you buttered it,
Butter.
and it's
Yeah.
crispy. Cut those up and then throw them on top.
Yes. I'm doing this tomorrow. I'm mad that I didn't get to the store in
Oh,
time so I
it's
can get
okay.
all of the stuff, but tomorrow I'm definitely gonna try this.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for taking the time to do this with us.
absolutely.
But at least you have
I
yourself some salad
know.
for
I'm set.
tonight and maybe tomorrow. So you're set.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. Thank you so much for this. Like I appreciate it. I'm going to always keep all of the recipes and like I said for everyone, you can either contact me or her if you would like, to get the full recipe and like the
Yeah.
breakdown of the nutritional contents and things like that. I think that's so important because
I
there's a
try.
lot of
Yeah.
people that are focused on that. And so if that's something that's important to them, you did provide that. So I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Because
The next
healthy is
time
the
that will
goal.
come,
Healthy is
the
the
next
goal.
time, I'm sorry, I didn't hear
Oh, I say
what you said.
because healthy is always the goal.
Always the goal, and wellness is
Yeah.
key. Okay, both of those things. So the next time that we'll meet, it looks like, is on May 16th,
Mm-hmm.
and this time we'll be talking about hearty and healthy.
Yeah.
This time we talked about quick and healthy. Next time we'll talk about hearty and healthy, and next time I'm going to join and I'm going to have all the ingredients so I can kind of join in and let you guys see what I'm doing too. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about that. Thank you again so much for coming on a Friday night and taking the time to do this. I'm jealous because you get to eat that good salad now. I'm going to be jealous after every one. I didn't think about this. I didn't think about how I'm going to be.
See?
And if I'm not making it too, I'm going to be sitting here like, So
Yep.
I got to think about that. I got to make sure I'm joining in. So thank you so much again. I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
And
you.
I'm going to post this so you guys can see it. I'm also going to post it on our YouTube channel so you can see all of our workshops and what we're doing and keep up to date with everything that's going on with Linkage. So thank you, Coach Yvette. See you next time.
See you guys later. Bye.
Bye. All right.